Welcome back to the Mana Confluence, a juncture for all things magic. Today, in our second episode of the 1v1 Brawl Gauntlet, we have Niv squaring off against some Orzhov Knights. To start off the game, I will play a Simic Guildgate and I'll pass. My opponent in this game, Jeff, plays a Scoured Barrens gaining 1 life, and I play a Cinder Barrens. He then plays a Swamp, taps 2 mana, and plays a Corpse Knight. During my turn, I play my land for turn, which is a Plains, and then tap 2 mana for a Soul Diviner, passing the turn. Back in Jeff's turn, he plays an Orzhov Guildgate, which enters the battlefield tapped. In my turn, I cannot do anything, so Jeff goes, taps 4 mana, and casts Ariel, Knight of Vengeance. It is countered by an Ionize, which does 2 damage to him, and I follow it up with a Dimir Guildgate. During Jeff's turn, he taps 3 mana and plays a Sigiled Sword of Valoron, only to have it once again countered, this time by Dovin's Veto. I play Mox Hammer and cannot do anything else. He plays a Plains as his land for turn, and then taps 5 mana to play a Serra Angel. I play my land for turn, which is a Rakdos Guildgate entering the battlefield tap, and I don't have any other play for the turn, so I pass back. During his turn, Jeff plays a Revenge, halving my life total and doubling his life total. I then play a Law of Mage's Binding to prevent Serra Angel from attacking me. The turn is passed back to me. In my turn, I tap 5 mana and play Niv-Mizzet, revealing the top 10 cards of my library. Among the top 10 cards of my library are Time Wipe, Vraska, Swarm's Eminence, and Death Sprout. I choose Death Sprout over Vraska and put it in my hand. Jeff taps 6 mana to play Alina, Selfish Champion, making 3 1/1 soldiers and draining me for 3 life. I play an Urza's Ruinous Blast, saving me for the moment, but the score is still 46-8, so I'm not feeling the best at this point. In his turn, he plays a Slaughter the Strong for 3 mana, forcing me to sacrifice my commander, and then attacks for 3, putting me even closer to death. He then plays a Mentor of the Meek and passes the turn. Nahiri's Storm of Stone hits the field in my turn, and it downticks, targeting Lina to kill it. During Jeff's turn, one of my favorite cards to face hits the battlefield, History of Benalia. This creates a 2/2 Knight, which he takes full advantage of by paying the 1 mana offered by Mentor of the Meek to draw a card. Then Mentor of the Meek attacks me, putting me to 3 life. Back in my turn, I draw a card, and then Nahiri is downtick to kill the Mentor of the Meek to stop any further card draw. During Jeff's turn, History of Benalia is upticked, and another 2/2 Knight with Vigilance is created. I am attacked for 2, and play a Death Sprout, targeting the attacking Knight, allowing me to go and search my library for a basic land. The basic land that I find is an island, and I put it on tapped. Jeff then plays Avrod the Cursed, giving all of his legendary creatures +2/+2. I then cast Liliana and downtick to make each player sacrifice 2 creatures, once again saving my life. During Jeff's turn, he plays a Zalfrin Void to scry 1, bottoms the card, and then History of Benalia goes off with no effects. He then passes the turn. I play Highland Lake as my land for a turn, and drop a Domri Anarch of Bolas. I use the +1 to add a red or green mana to my mana pool, and play Oath of Teferi, exiling my Mox Hammer and turn. I then use Oath of Teferi's ability to activate all of my planeswalkers in additional time, gaining 2 2/2 zombies with Liliana, and Mox Hammer comes in at the end of my turn. During my opponent's turn, he flashes an Angel of Grace and attacks for lethal. Game 2 sees a Dimir Guildgate out of the gate for me. Jeff plays a Plains and passes the turn back. I then play Gateway Plaza, paying the 1 extra mana to have that Gateway Plaza come in and not be sacrificed. My opponent then drops a land in a Knight of Malice. During my turn, I throw a Boros Guildgate onto the field and pass. My Boros skill gate is met by a plains, and then 3 mana is tapped, and another History Benalia hits the field, my favorite. It creates a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance, and I am attacked for 3, putting me at 22. During my turn, I play Foul Orchard, and that is all I can do. During Jeff's turn, History Benalia upticks, and he gets a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. He then plays a Swamp and taps 4 mana to play Quende, which would give double strike to all his first strike creatures if it were not to be countered by an Absorb, gaining me an important 3 life as well. However, I am still attacked and take 5 damage. During my turn, a Meandering River hits the field, and I pass the turn back. History Benalia goes off, giving all of Jeff's Knights +2/+1 until end of turn. I then am attacked. A Death Sprout meets the Knight of Malice, and I go and search my library for a basic land, and the basic land that I find is a plains. I, however, still take 8 damage and go down to 12. Orzhov Locket hits the field on Jeff's side, and another 2 mana sees Paladin of Atonement hitting the battlefield. I tap 5 of my lands to play my commander, Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Among those cards are Time Wipe, Tyrant's Scorn, Engrath's Rampage, and Mortify, all of which go to my hand. I then am forced to discard, and I discard a Vraska and a Growth Spiral before passing the turn. Jeff then attacks me, and I block a 2/2 Knight with my Niv-Mizzet, taking 3 damage. He then plays Ariel, Knight of Windgrace. During my turn, I tap 3 mana to play a Davriel Rogue Shadow Mage, -1, and forcing him to discard a card. The card discarded is Josu Vess. I am then once again attacked. This time, however, a Mortify meets Ariel, and I block the 2/2, taking 1 damage. In response to the Mortify, however, Ariel is tapped to create a 2/2 Knight with Vigilance. During my turn, I play Interplanar Beacon, making me gain a life whenever I cast a Planeswalker spell from here on out. I then tap 3 mana to play Flux Channeler, so whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I proliferate. I then play Dovin Grand Arbiter. I then activate Dovin, making a 1/1 Thopter and gaining 1 life. At the end of my turn, the mana is tapped and the Orzhov Locket is cracked, drawing 2 cards. It is then my turn once again, and I tap 2 mana to play a Tyrant's Scorn, blowing up the 2/2 Knight. Because I cast a non-creature spell, I then get to proliferate, putting a counter on both Dovin and Davriel. I proliferate once more, and Jeff gains 1 life as the Paladin of Atonement dies. I then +1 Dovin for turn, and attack with 3, putting 3 counters on Dovin as all 3 creatures I attacked with do connect. Back in my turn, I ultimate Dovin, looking at the top 10 cards in my library and choosing 3. Once these 3 cards have been chosen, I then proceed to tap 6 mana and play an Arlen. When I cast Arlen, because it is a non-creature spell, I get to proliferate. I then downtick Arlen to create a 2/2 wolf that has a counter on it. I then play Mox Amber, proliferating on everything, including my wolf. I then downtick Davriel, and more cards are discarded. I then move to attacks, and I am met by a Settle the Wreckage. I go to find a land, and the only land I can find in my deck is an island, and it enters the battlefield tapped. Bond of Ancestry is cast and is met with a Dovin's Veto. Because Dovin's Veto is a non-creature spell, I proliferate on all of my things, again including the wolf. I play a Cinder Barrens as my land for turn, and begin dealing out my lands simply to intimidate my opponent. I then tap 5 lands to float 5 mana, and decide that I'm going to downtick Arlen, creating a 2/2 wolf that enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. I'm then going to downtick Davriel, forcing my opponent to discard a card, and then I'm going to +1 Dovin. I'm then going to use the mana I floated to play Oath of Teferi, exiling a land, and being able to activate all my planeswalkers a second time. I'm going to follow that up with a Healy, and this next non-creature spell allows me to proliferate even more, so at this point my wolves are very, very chunky. I downtick Davriel, force my opponent to lose their last card in their hand, and then I make yet another wolf that enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. I attack for 7 damage, and because of the damage I dealt, I get more counters on Dovin. I then ultimate Dovin, looking at the top 10 cards in my library once more, and choosing the cards out of them that I want to keep. The other side of the battlefield is very soon filled with an angel in the air, with a Light of the Legion. During my turn, I untap and I get ready to cast my finishing spell, which in this case will be an Applied Biomancy, bouncing the angel back to my opponent's hand so I can attack for lethal. Game 3 starts off with a Zalfrin Void, allowing a Scry 1. I then play Highland Lake and pass the turn back. My land for turn is a Foul Orchard. This time we pass. Lands are tapped for the first time this game, and an Orzhov Locket hits the field. In my turn, I untap and then play a Borrow Skillgate, passing the turn right back. At this point, a Scoured Baron hits the field, and I realize that, wait a second, those are all standard legal, so I should be playing them. Ariel also hits the field, and it's my turn once again. I play Selesnya Guildgate, which does not gain me 1 life, and then I play Dovin Hand of Control. Not only will this tack stuff, but I also use the -1 to target Ariel, so it cannot deal damage this turn. 3 mana is tapped for a Denitha Compassion Paragon. 3 more mana is tapped this turn for a Sigiled Sword of Valoron, which really sounds like a rock band. I untap, and in my turn I play a Meandering River before tapping the necessary mana to play the Wanderer. I downtick the Wanderer to exile Ariel before passing. During my turn, I downtick Dovin to once again make a creature not be able to attack or block this turn. During Jeff's turn, he taps the necessary mana required to play Vrod the Cursed, cursing us all in the process. I play a Simic Guildgate for turn, and then use the Wanderer to get rid of Denitha, who received a +2/+2 bonus due to being a legendary. I then play my commander and reveal the top 10 cards in my library. Among the top 10 are Ingrat's Rampage, and that is it. I then downtick Dovin once more, this time targeting Vrod. Jeff plays a 3 mana to equip the Sigiled Sword of Valoron, which I feel like I should sing to Vrod before attacking with Vrod. I block the Knight and do not take any damage. Corpse Knight hits the battlefield, and it is my turn once again. I tap my bountiful resources to play Sarkhan the Masterless. I then -1 Dovin, targeting Vrod, the one with the Sigiled Sword of Valoron, before +1ing and attacking for 14 damage in the air. After untapping, Jeff then retaps some of his mana so that he can and does play Murder, targeting my one and only creature. After this, 2 of my planeswalkers are attacked for lethal, and only Sarkhan the Masterless remains. I then move my own turn and play a Domri Anarchabolus. I first +1 Sarkhan and attack for 5 damage in the air because of Domri's +1. Then I use the minus to have the now creatureified Sarkhan fight the 2/2 Corpse Knight. I then play Applied Biomancy, bouncing Vrod the Cursed back to Jeff's hand. A 2/2 Knight kills Domri, and then 5 mana is tapped to replay the Thwart the Cursed. In my turn, I tap 2 mana to play Soul Diviner, before +1ing Sarkhan and attacking for 4 damage. During my opponent's turn, he taps 5 mana to play Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, but it is countered by an Ionize, doing 2 damage to him and putting him down to 1. At this point, he realizes he has no outs and concedes. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this new episode of the 1v1 Brawl Gauntlet. There are more episodes to come even after Standard rotates, and have a great day.